My name is Engineer Darlington SAKWA. I am the patron of Nabumali Old Students Association. I went to the school myself from 1967 and left in 1972. That is, I did O-level and A-level Nabumali High School. But back to the history of the school, you can trace Nabumali High School to November 1900, when the first missionary by the name of Reverend Crabtree stepped foot at Nabumali. Reverend Crabtree set up a missionary training center, and in reality he had gone following what people refer to as a Muganda mercenary, but we don't know whether he was a mercenary or an agent of the British called Kakunguru, who had gone fighting and capturing territory. But Crabtree came and exchanged what would have been called a war with peace, and established Nabumali as a training center for the Christians. Later on, Nabumali developed into a school, various schools, including a primary school, junior secondary school, a girls' school, and many, many changes have taken place, which I cannot narrate in a very short period. But the current school was established in the year 1912. Yes. And it has continued to grow from a very simple agriculture school to a secondary school, and in 1964 the school was promoted to HSC, or Higher School Certificate, which today we refer to as Advanced Certificate, or A-level, until about 1978. And that was because many of the people who used to run the school properly found themselves very uncomfortable under Idi Amin, the Bazungu. Me personally, when I went to Nabumali School, I think I recall there were 33 teachers, but only 2 were black.
My name is YUDEDO, Mbale, and at Nabumali I was known as Mbale Mutonyi. The population of teachers were mostly from Britain, although we had mismatchment who came from Australia, but most of the white people were from Britain. We had Reverend Perennis, we had Mr. Grace, whose father was a headmaster at King's College, Budo. And Mrs. Grace was also a teacher there, an English teacher.
So you can imagine that after their mini school, these 31 teachers started leaving one by one, and eventually the school was left with no good direction, and things started deteriorating. The water system got ruined, the swimming pool we are talking about got ruined, everything you think about. We had that tarmac infrastructure. All the roads in Nabumali were tarmac. You go there today, you'll see that they are maram. So eventually it came to a little halt, because even the funding from the state to the schools, to government-owned schools, has been reduced to almost nothing. And that's why we are saying we cannot keep crying. We should scratch our own and go and rehabilitate the school.
My name's Collins Waswamatovu. I joined Nabumali High School in 1973 for my O-levels. So I was there for 4 years. I was in Crabtree House. When I joined the Nabumali, I found they had just taken on the first African head teacher by the names of Solomon Kajolo. But we still had a number of European teachers on staff. In those years, the school had all the sports facilities, namely the football pitch, a hockey pitch, a cricket pitch. We had an athletic pitch, we had volleyball, we had basketball, but most of all we had a swimming pool.
And a number of things have been done. We have done some work on the dormitories, some work on the dining hall. We've got some work done on the classrooms. And now we are one of the major projects which is coming almost to completion is the swimming pool. And so part of the activities at the get together on the 13th will be to raise funds to complete the rehabilitation of the swimming pool.
Probably it was the only school with a standard swimming pool at that time. On the academic side, the school was still rated as among the first 3 in the country. Actually, we joined on merit. My admission letter came through the post office in those days. So there was no business of coming through the back door. That one came in much later, I think when I was in senior 3. That's when they started bringing in people through the back door, but previously we had to go in on merit.
Geoffrey Nambafa are my names. I work with Eastern Private Sector as the head of finance and administration. I am a former president of the Mbale Old Students Association, a year that I just handed over recently in the month of June, handing over to the new president. That's the headmaster of Mbale Senior Secondary School.
The headmaster was Canon Arthur Botomole. He was very passionate about Nabumali. And those buildings which are at school, most of them were built during Mr. Botomole's time.
We've had a long history of the school, a very long one. We used to do both sports and academics. Personally, I was an all-rounder. I played football, I was an athlete, and I swam. One of the reasons why I feel that we should work hard to get the school back into its level, because when I look at where we were, with the first-class facilities in both buildings, hostels, classrooms, the playgrounds, I think as old students, we owe the school a helping hand both financially and morally to see that it goes back to where it was.
2 years back, we had to believe in ourselves and we had to reconcile with the school administration. And the students came out as Nabumali Old Students Association to fully support the school in terms of the developments in the school, as the school also pushes for the academic performance. In 2017, we had to believe that we had to work out a few of the projects, and among the projects that we looked at was the swimming pool project, which is an icon for the school, and being the only school in the Eastern region with a swimming pool, we felt we needed to rehabilitate or renovate the swimming pool so that it becomes one of the centers of attraction for the many students in the East to go to Nabumali High School.
My name is OMEDO, OGUNDI BENARD, the current head teacher of Nabumali High School. I came to Nabumali as a deputy head teacher in 2015. Nabumali High School is ranked second in Mbale district as far as performance is concerned.
But we also tried to look at the other things around the school, including the classroom buildings and then the dormitories and other areas like the dining hall where the students have their meals. By the fact that discipline, the etiquettes of eating begin in the dining hall, it's one of the things that we really focused on how to support our students in the eating etiquettes. And I can assure you that we received some pounds from UK that helped us in terms of furnishing the dining hall. We got about 15 million shillings, and we had to furnish that dining hall. I believe by now all the students are having their meals in the dining hall.
I went to Nabumali when I was in primary 4, because at that time we had a section of primary, junior and secondary. In Nabumali, the population was not big like it is now, and even now it is not as big. There were some time back we had over 1,000 students, but right now I think we have like 850. It has gone down because of the academic. Now Mbale was one of the best schools. He was always among the first 5 schools in Uganda. Today, I don't know what number Nabumali is.
Currently, I am a member of the Board of Trustees of the Old Students Association. I'm actually the treasurer, and I am the one in charge of rehabilitating the swimming pool. I am a trained accountant, retired, but an active swimming trainer. Right now I train about 12 schools in swimming. So I have about 3,500 swimming trainees, but none of them is from Nabumali, always going back to Nabumali, because the standards of the school have totally deteriorated. So I spearheaded the rehabilitation of the swimming pool as a project being manned under the Old Students Association, but I'm the one in charge. We had estimated to spend about 200 million for the total rehabilitation, and we have not yet gone out of those figures. So far we've spent about 145 million, and I think we need about between 30 and 40 to have the swimming pool complete. So we've done about 75% of that project. It is being done completely by the old students through donations. We opened a special account for the swimming pool rehabilitation in Kenya Commercial Bank. So it has no business with the school funds. We had originally thought that maybe the parents, through their students, would contribute to the rehabilitation of the swimming pool, but it has not happened yet. But I hope when we are done with that project, the parents will realize that we need to work together to get the school on its shining level as it was previously. Currently, it has been basically the older generation which has been very active, but of recent, we are getting the young generation joining us. They're doing it in what they call cohorts, according to the years they were there. And we feel delighted that after we have departed, we shall have people to continue our struggle to have Nabumali High School back to its level. We have engaged many stakeholders, including the Ministry of Education, including the Church of Uganda, including the parents and the current students, to make sure that we together attain the high-level standard of Nabumali High School. One rare thing about Nabumali High School is that there was no tribe in Nabumali, no tribalism. Our only tribes were the 6 houses, that is Agre, Apollo, Banks, Crabtree, Huntington, and Tom Sange. When you talk about those 6 tribes, we become very jealous and very tribalistic in that line. But other than that, we don't mind who is heading the school, we don't mind who is doing what project, as long as it's for the good of the school.
And now, courtesy of the old students, we are having the swimming pool being renovated. And once it is completed, the image of the school is going to change with the coming of the swimming pool. And I think in eastern region, eastern Uganda, Nabumali High School is the only school with a swimming pool. And we are going to get involved in these activities, and I think we are going to attract many more schools to come to the school to do these sporting activities. The infrastructure of the school is not all that very good. We have so many needs on infrastructure, rehabilitation of the classes, the dormitories, and the staff houses. I want to thank the old students, NOSA. They have done a lot of work to improve on the infrastructure of the school. So far, they rehabilitated the chapel. They put the tiles, now it looks very nice. They furnished the dining hall with tables, and now the students eat while seated, which was not the case a few years back when they used to move with the food from the DH and they would walk while eating. Now with the dining tables, everybody eats while seated, which is good. And he's training them in manners, table manners now is improving. NOSA has also renovated one of the classroom blocks. Senior 1 block is now glittering and looks new, courtesy of their support. They have now picked on the sick bay, which is also to be renovated. I think by beginning of next term, it will be looking new, and that will also change the image of the school. And then many other cohorts have come up to look at their houses. As we speak now, I received the calls from the cohort. One of the cohorts going to look at the dining hall rehabilitation and painting, and by the beginning of the term, according to their projections, it will be almost complete and will have a new facelift. Then a group of those ones who were sleeping in Tomsange have also come up. They have already made their quotations. By the beginning of the term, next term, I believe they will have finished putting the windows and painting, and their house will also look new. So with these interventions as management of the school, we are very happy. It is going to bring the school to where it has been. And as staff, this is what I've always implored on staff. Now that the students, the old students are putting in a lot, we have also to put in a lot to ensure that we produce the best results that will see the school changing to another level. And everybody is in support. The board, the PTA are also doing their part to ensure that the school comes up. And the intervention given by the ministry, they have promised to send us more teachers to fill up the gaps that we're lacking. I believe we shall have the best performance and the results are going to improve. I also want to appreciate the current NOSA. They have taken on as their priority project academics. That's the project number one they want to handle. And during this year, the candidate classes, they sent us facilitators from Kampala. They resourced those people from those big schools in Kampala. We got facilitators from Old Kampala, from Chibuli, from some of those big schools in Kampala to come and share with our students. And indeed, the candidates appreciated the work that they gave. And then to make it very nice that some of the people who came to facilitate are old students. And as they were talking to them, they were inspiring them. And I believe we expect good results come at the end of the year when these results are released. So with the school, we are very happy with the old students and all the stakeholders. And I believe if we work together as a team, the staff here and the old students and all the other stakeholders, Nabumali is going to come back to where it was before. And that is what everybody is focusing on, to ensure that it comes back to that glory that it used to have. Many big shots have been going through this school, and it gives us an inspiration to now work hard to ensure that we produce the likes of the people that passed through this institution. Once we are given the support like it, we are now receiving from the old students and the government and the many other stakeholders that are giving us support.
The African teachers were a few. We had Mr. James Ariada, the famous mathematician. We had Mr. Kolyang. Mr. Kolyang is still the living teacher. He lives in Budaka district. Oh, my children who went to Nabumali. My husband also actually went to Nabumali, and after Nabumali, he was called YUDEDO. He's now late. He went to Nabumali up to junior 2. So for his senior education, he went to King's College, Budo. Mr. Bottomley was very annoyed with him because he changed to go to Budo. But Mr. Ariada, who was from the same tribe, Samia, encouraged him because Mr. Ariada had also been at Budo, and he knew that Budo was a good school. Then my second son, called Daudi Ngweno, went to Nabumali. My first daughter, Mary Nafula, went to Nabumali. My daughter, the second daughter, Rose Apondi, went to Nabumali. And my last daughter, who is a lawyer, called Jean Nabwire, also went to Nabumali. I would request, because Nabumali actually has a lot of people who have passed through Nabumali from West Nile, Acholi, Lango, Karamoja, Soroti, even from Mbarara. The whole way from Mbarara, they used to come to Nabumali because Nabumali was then a very famous school. And many of them, they hold big posts in the government. We have professors. Professor Timothy Wangusa is an old boy of Nabumali. Agure Wawori, the famous runner, he went to Harvard. And recently he was interviewed on NTV. They all went to Nabumali. I met Agure recently at a church. I think we had lost one of the old boys. And I asked him, hey, Agure, why is it that you have forgotten Nabumali? He told me, no, Mary, I have not forgotten Nabumali, but they don't turn up. Every second week of June, we go to Nabumali. We call it homecoming. And few turn up. And yet, we are many. We are many. And they are all over the world. But they have forgotten Nabumali. And whenever I find them, I say, hey, my friend, whatever job you hold today, whatever position, you owe it to Nabumali. And you should always come home. So I will encourage everybody who went through Nabumali to remember that without Nabumali, they could not be what they are today. Another position which I held at Nabumali was during the time when the late Kalukusu was president. I was the vice president. And I was a member, on the executive of NOSA for 8 years.
My appeal to all the old students and all other stakeholders is that we don't lose hope. I'm very glad that we are having an organized dinner by the young cohorts in an effort to get together first of all and then raise funds to do a number of projects, starting with the completion of the swimming pool and any other project that will come up after the swimming pool has been commissioned. Nabumali High School has produced quite a number of people who are well placed at the moment and who are well placed previously. I appeal to all of them who may be gathered in this fundraising dinner, the judges, the ministers, the educationists, engineers, doctors, and everybody else, to join us, those of us who have spearheaded the rehabilitation of the school, to join hands with us to make sure that we can have the infrastructure of the school back to its level and the academic part of it back to its level.
So I'm appealing to all the students, those that studied in Nabumali, those that are out there and they want to see a model school, please let us continue supporting Nabumali. I would also appeal to those brothers and sisters working in the judiciary, that you are our icons out there and we want to bring you to line with our old students, that you come and join us in this development. Without you, we can't run a race and complete it. Nabumali will shine again. I'm seeing a lot of future. I'm seeing a lot of brightness in Nabumali. I would also thank the Commissioner of Education, and that's Bwana Sam Clover, who has really supported us in terms of the administrative structures, because we had a lot of gaps there. That as a commissioner, he helped us come and realign the structures. and I have to believe that Nabumali is going to shine in terms of academics, in terms of the co-curricular activities, and in terms of infrastructure development. We shall shine again. Upwards and onwards, I salute all the Nabumalians. Thank you.
As I said before, please come every second week, a Saturday of June. We go to Nabumali. Thank you.
Finally, I would like to inform the gathering that come term 1 of 2020, that is next year, we are going to start swimming at Nabumali High School, and it will be a compulsory lesson for all senior 1s and senior 2s. But we shall have trainers taking on other students in upper classes who would like to learn to swim.